However, I ask that the media not drag my family into this. They're not running for president. Some members of your profession have even stalked my family members, calling members of my family and extended family members. I ask you as professionals to direct your questions, your criticisms toward me, not my family. I will repeat, I have never acted inappropriately with anyone, period. And these accusations that were revealed yesterday simply did not happen. We are going to take some questions. J.D. Gordon, my communications vice president, we will take a few questions.
Tim Gaynor, Reuters News Agency. Mr. Kaine, an Ipsos Reuters poll released this afternoon showed that 40% of Republican voters view you less favorably after seeing Monday's accusations from Sharon Bialek. Given that reaction, how can you convince non-supporters to vote for you?
But the good news for me in my campaign is that most of my supporters have not reacted to this in terms of belief. Many of them have expressed their outpouring support for the fact that these incidents simply did not happen.
Hi, Mr. Kaine. It's Robin Abkarian from the LA Times. Yesterday, you called these charges insignificant stuff.
Let me reiterate that sexual harassment is a very serious charge. In no way have I tried to minimize sexual harassment in the workplace. Having led many organizations, yes, I have seen instances where it could be interpreted as sexual harassment, and if I saw it, and if it were an employee or a direct report of mine, I dealt with it immediately before the other person perceived it as an infringement.
The Wall Street Journal. Still, Mr. Kaine, there are now a total of 4 women who have accused you of some form of sexual harassment. How do you explain that?
As you know, when you run for the highest office in the land, there are going to be some accusations that are going to come out of the woodwork. They're going to come from anywhere. And if they continue to come, I will continue to respond. I can't answer why the ones that have already made these one anonymous accusations and one that was, put their face on TV, started a media campaign to basically try and slander my integrity and my character. I can't tell you what their motivation is other than is to stop Herman Cain. I believe that the American people are saying that they are not going to let that happen.
Steve Kraft, Fox 10 News here in Phoenix. Mitt Romney has been quoted as saying he finds these accusations to be disturbing. Can you react to that observation by Mr. Romney and tell us what you think is behind it or what it means?
Sure. Sexual harassment is a very serious matter, as I've said. I find the accusations disturbing, but I don't think he was saying that I was disturbing because I've been accused. I believe what he was saying, because I know Mitt Romney and his integrity, that he was referring to the fact that it's disturbing that these accusations that are not factually based are disturbing to this process.
Mr. Kaine, Andrew Rafferty, NBC News. I'm just curious, what role do you think Sharon Bialek's past financial troubles play in her allegations against you?
She claims that her past financial situation, the number of civil lawsuits she's been involved in, she claims that it does not play a role in her coming forward. I can't respond any further than that. That's her claim. But from a common sense standpoint, one would have to ask if, in fact, that might not have been a motivation for her being subjected to this.
Okay, Mark Lacey with the New York Times. Karen Kraushaar, who just spoke to our newspaper within the last hour, can you tell us what she accused you of specifically?
The one thing that I remember that I remembered during the day when all of this broke loose is that one day in my office at the National Restaurant Association, I was standing next to Ms. Crouchaw, and I gestured, standing near her like this, "You're the same height as my wife," because my wife comes up to my chin. That was the one gesture that I remember. The door was open. My secretary was sitting there. It wasn't anything behind closed doors. I gestured because of her height, comparing it to my wife's height. End of story. She did not react at the time. Absolutely did not react at the time. Let me say this, folks. In closing, thank you for your patience. Thank you for us having an opportunity to share my perspective on this. This nation faces tremendous crises. I would hope that we could get back to sharing with the American people solutions to the problems that we face. We are not going to allow ourselves to continuously be distracted by these sort of incidents. I will respond to them, but we cannot slow this campaign down when we need to be dealing with our economic crisis, our spending crisis, our energy crisis, our foggy foreign policy crisis, illegal immigration crisis, and a crisis of leadership in the White House in Washington, D.C.